Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Wednesday, the 20th of July 2022. I'm going to use the Tarot of the Sevenfold Mystery for today's reading. Let's see what the cards have to say about Wednesday and what energy is coming up for you. This is a really interesting deck that I think it's sold by the author himself. I remember I had to go through a bit of a thing to get this deck. I just really like the style of it. Is this called neoclassicism or something? Correct me if I'm wrong. What's this art style called? I think it kind of reminds me of tattoos. A lot of tattoos have this kind of look on them. So let's see what the cards have to say about Wednesday and what energy you'll be working with. Right, so first we've got King of Cups, the Star, and the Imperator, which is the Emperor. Okay, so the King of Cups is a court card that talks about really positive characteristics, being loving and nurturing and compassionate. And you can see that with this heart hovering over the cup there. But what's interesting to me is this little beast here with a fountain coming out of its head, like a little mythological whale / monster thing. And the message I'm getting is that you're able to differentiate between your love and your positive connections and really what you're putting out and the things that are monstrous in your life as such. So things where you're taking care of other people, you're being nurturing and supportive, and all you get back is a ton of conflict or responses which are really not aligned with what you've given. And the Star is about detoxing and letting go of the negative and letting your light shine. And we've got the personal planets here and some of the outer planets, but we've got the Sun and the Moon, the luminaries, which talk about you specifically, your heart and your head. Mercury, Venus, and Mars, they're all the personal planets. That's the way you see the world and communicate, what you love, how you love, and Mars, what drives you and what fills you with ambition. So I get that you're really able to differentiate between your part in things. What have I put into this? What is really my role? So if, like, for instance, if you've got a relationship that's really full of conflict and it's unpleasant, rather than saying, oh, you know, this is obviously my fault, I wasn't loving enough or I didn't try hard enough, you're able to kind of step back from that a little bit and to say, well, actually, hang on a minute. I was really supportive and kind, and the response I got was really inappropriate. And it's interesting because I spoke about this in the weekly horoscope, but this week is very much about sorting your relationships and particularly the good from the bad. And that's for a lot of spiritual people and people particularly in their natal charts who have a lot of water or earth in their charts, they're often filled with a sense of duty and obligation. And this sense that if my relationships aren't where I want them to be, then I've got to exert myself more and try harder. And water very much is about, I love everybody unconditionally, and it's my purpose in life to be loving and encouraging and supportive and to take care of others. That doesn't always work out very well. Like, for instance, if you're being super loving and supportive towards a narcissist in your life, you're not going to get a bunch of love in return. What you'll get is an earful saying, oh, if you hadn't enabled me so much, I'd be much freer and much more independent by now. Or, of course you're going to help me. That's your job. You're my sister or my brother or my mother or my uncle or something. That's what you're supposed to do. I'm not saying thank you. I owe you nothing. So those kind of situations, you know, if you look at it objectively, it doesn't benefit you then to keep giving because it puts you in the position of actually being a doormat. And your love and your support is kind of a waste. Or as my father always used to say, it's like when he tried to teach us Latin when we were like, my sister and I, when we were like 5 and 7 years old and we weren't particularly interested. And he'd say, oh, it's like throwing pearls before swine. You know, it's you're giving something and it's not being appreciated. So It's interesting because the King of Cups usually is very much about a person in your life who is loving and supportive. It's like the perfect boyfriend, or what you want an authority figure in your life to be like whether it's a father or a boss or the head of an institution. You want him to listen and to understand and to have compassion for what you're going through and to help you out. And that's what the king is able to do. But this is the first time I'm seeing this kind of this partitioning of the card, as in the love up here and being passionate and emotionally connected and being in this good spot, and then the result being very different. And you may think I'm reading too much into this, that, well, we do have a love heart here too, and this is just an unfortunate little fish who can't do anything about his looks. But he's got these kind of orc kind of tusks here, and the look in his eye to me seems kind of aggressive. And then we've got this explosion of water, so it's about taking something and expelling it. You know, like a whale has to come up for air and then he shoots the water out so he can actually take in air and breathe. So it's about getting rid of some of the emotions, and usually the emotions that we ought to get rid of are negative ones, and the star is all about that, detoxing the negative, so that you can let in some air and that you can actually think about things clearly rather than just being stuck in your feelings and your emotions and what you feel obligated and duty bound to experience. You know, like when you're trying to have it out with someone and you're having a conversation, and instead of just listening to you, that person kind of deliberately pretends to misunderstand you. And then they talk over you and they use all these tactics to kind of shut you down. Or they pretend to misunderstand you, and then you fumble your words and you try and explain it even more. And then they say things like, oh, I don't really like your tone. Why are you raising your voice at me? And it becomes about your tone of voice rather than the thing that you were trying to sort out between the two of you, which often can be the point of arguing. It's just like, I don't feel understood here. I'm strongly trying to tell you what the problem is so we can get over it and move on. And they kind of railroad that situation, and then you end up apologizing for your tone or for the look on your face or whatever it may be. So by expelling all this water and all this sense of obligation that it is my primary focus and purpose in life to take care of the people around me, and then replacing that with air, which in the tarot is about thinking and perspective and communication and abstract type of thinking, you're actually able to say, hang on a minute, is this something where I should continue giving, or is it actually harming me? So the star then, she can only float above the lake if she's not submerged in the water, obviously. So she's also been able to see the things that no longer work for her. And water is about connection to your higher power. It's about connection to other people. It's about love, the home. It's about creativity, and it's about healing. So by hovering above this, she's kind of transcended a sense of being emotionally unintelligent. She realizes that certain activities pay off and are worthwhile or worth her time, and others aren't. And the only way she can let her light shine is if she kind of does rise above the emotional sense of duty and obligation, and she focuses on her personal life and planets and qualities. So what do I actually feel? And what do I want to do with my life? What drives me and what's important to me? What is it that I love, regardless of what other people tell me is appropriate and isn't? What do I think is right? Then we've got Saturn and Jupiter. Jupiter is good luck and good fortune, and Saturn is about security, and they're at the top here. So she can only activate good luck in her life and build something of her own when she gets to know herself and she lets her personality shine. And she can't do that if she's submerged in some sort of institution or family unit or employment situation where she's never allowed to express an opinion, or her wants and needs are dismissed as pointless and irrelevant, or her desires are met with things like, oh, is that really what you're into? How gauche. You know, like these put downs and these things which really minimize you and your experience. Or, hey, actually, I want to share my emotions. We had a conversation or an argument yesterday, and I really didn't like the way we left it. Oh, aren't you overly sensitive? Can't you just get over yourself? Why are you always trying to pick a fight? Or the son here. My thing in life, what I want to do, let's say what interests me, the type of person I see myself as, is someone who, I don't know, I want to change my appearance so that I feel more comfortable in my own skin. That's just something that's a personal choice. I want to look better. And then you're met with the response of, oh, how fake of you. Why would you mess with your face or with your body? I mean, who does that? So it's this constant dismissal and put down of who you are and what you're trying to achieve simply because someone else doesn't agree with it. And if you're able to rise above all that nonsense, then you can pursue your own star. And that's what she's looking at. So I want to get to a position where I'm doing all these things that work for me so that I can feel like I'm shining and that I am maximizing my potential regardless of whether you like it or not. And thank you for policing my feelings and what I'm trying to say. Enough already. I'm a free person. I can do what I like. And that kind of response, I'm a free person, that's very much the emperor, who's the authority figure in his life and in the life of others. And because he's taken this position of authority, he has to wear armor. Because as soon as he's on top, as soon as he's occupying this stone throne of leadership and doing what he wants, then he's going to be attacked by other people who think, hey, actually, you shouldn't be sitting on this throne. I should be sitting on it. So his response isn't, oh, you think you'd be a better king than I would? Okay, let me just get off the chair here, and there you go, you have it. He's not doing that. He continues to sit in the throne, and instead of saying, okay, you do it instead, he says, well, I'm going to wear armor so that these criticisms and these attacks actually just bounce off me. What's the saying? Uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. If you're in a position of authority, either in your own life or in the lives of other people, you're going to be a target for people who dislike the fact that you've succeeded, or who don't like that you have so much power and they think they do a better job, or simply they don't like that you have so much influence and they want to take you down a notch or two. So that's now drawing my attention to the crown here, the crown here. So you're the king and the emperor and the queen and the authority figure and the boss in your own life. And it's only by taking on that role, even though it may feel challenging, that's the only way today you can really pursue your own star, your own light, your own sense of, I'm on the right track, I'm attaining my own enlightenment here. You can only do that for yourself, the cards are saying. And that takes a little bit of willingness to face conflict. The eagle is about freedom, so I can do whatever I like, think however I like. This orb and scepter here kind of looks like an ankh. I have it within me to pursue my own passions and to be the boss in my own life, thank you. The sword is attack and retaliation. So, okay, you can dent my armor for so long, but if you keep provoking me, sooner or later I'm going to unsheath this sword and I'm going to chop your head off. Off with your head, as the kings and queens used to say, because it's enough already, thank you. So it's kind of harsh, but it's saying that it's not always easy, it's not always right to be soft and gentle and accepting, because certain people will take advantage of that and become monstrous and use you as a doormat. And then if you're a doormat, you're constantly being stepped on and you can't float. You can't lift off if you're constantly under someone else's heel. Yeah, okay. Wow, tough. Okay, so the cards are saying the way to succeed is to really take responsibility for what you want and to brush off the criticisms or the attacks. They've got nothing to do with you. They're really irrelevant. Number-wise, we've got the court card, which is 1. And then what's this? 15, 16, 17, and 1 is 18, which is the moon in the tarot. Keep going and listen to your intuition despite any fears. So we've got 18 and 4, that's 22. Wow, 22 is the master number of the builder. So if you want to attain your own shiny star-like nature and self-actualize and live your life purpose, then the authority and this sense of inner strength is required. And if you're able to manage that today with the number 22, you're able to build something significant and long-term and permanent for yourself. So you can really turn a corner and become the person you've always wanted to be, where you've stumbled or you've let yourself be controlled or dismissed in the past. You won't make that same mistake again today. And then it creates a foundation. 22, the master number of the builder, is kind of like Saturn. It creates this solid foundation which you can then build on, like a stone throne. So this is an important day for self-actualization and being and having the strength to be the person you want to be. Okay, so I hope you have a great day. If you'd like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, click on Book Your Reading to audio reading with me. I use the tarot, astrology, and numerology in my personal readings. I combine all three. So if you have any questions about your life purpose, where you would shine, your relationships, what's coming up in future, what's working, what isn't working, or any questions at all, please do get in touch with me for a personal reading. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Please hit subscribe and the little bell next to it and share the video online. Have an amazing day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.